Hi, this is Gray Crawford, and I'm sharing my thoughts on the full moon in Libra taking place on April 6, 2023. Libra, as a sign of the scales, involves a perpetual balancing experienced within all of our relationships. The full moon in Libra on the 6th of April will activate the polarity between Aries and Libra during a period of accelerating collective and personal change. Aries and Libra are cardinal signs that initiate new directions and set things into swift motion. And so the Libra full moon is well suited for adjusting to the quickly changing currents signified by Saturn and Pluto entering new signs during the past month. As the entrances of Saturn into Pisces on the 7th of March and Pluto into Aquarius on the 23rd of March have correlated with new storylines and rapid reconfiguration of dynamics, the relational capacity that Libra possesses for coming to terms with the myriad intersecting lines of tension within systems is needed for effective adjustment and reorientation. The polarity between Aries and Libra involves the fiery surge of the ram's direct passion set against the thoughtful contemplation of the scales that carefully measures myriad ways of addressing circumstances and relations, turning issues over and over again to explore every facet imaginable. The days surrounding the full moon can help with processing whatever has come out of balance and recentering, as Libra is an air sign that excels at contemplating available options and weighing the pros and cons of potential directions. The Libra full moon serves as a fulcrum in between two consecutive lunations in Aries. The new moon in Aries on the 21st of March at the first degree of Aries, and the upcoming solar eclipse in Aries that will take place on the 20th of April at the final degree of Aries. Since the full moon will be followed by a solar eclipse that will catalyze tension with Pluto and a lunar eclipse in Scorpio that will activate Uranus, there's a great likelihood of unexpected and fast-moving changes occurring in the month ahead, which will require additional adaptation and adjustment. Amidst whirlpools of volatile collective changes, the Libra full moon can be helpful for gaining awareness of developing issues coming to a head that will require strategy and nuanced agility. As Libra is also the active, outwardly directed domicile of Venus, the Libra full moon can also direct attention to the needs of our relationships, as well as forging bonds of fellowship that can be mutually beneficial in coping with the rising tides of change. The Libra full moon will be separating from an opposition with Chiron and applying toward an opposition with Jupiter due to the close proximity between Chiron and Jupiter with the Sun in Aries. Chiron will form a conjunction with the Sun on the 5th of April, roughly 6 hours before the moon forms her exact opposition with the Sun, making the lunation acutely focused upon the regeneration of Chiron and Aries. Considering only traditional planets, the Libra full moon is separating from a disruptive square aspect with Mars in Cancer. As a result, the Libra full moon may illuminate difficult feelings of hardship in relation to changing circumstances, the uncertainty of present dynamics and where they may lead, as well as old wounds of identity and alienation. Yet with the Libra full moon in the bounds of Jupiter, while also applying to Jupiter, the silvery reflections of the moon's mirror may illuminate ways of recovering, restoring, and revitalizing a sense of purpose and vision to work towards. The Libra moon opposing Chiron, while Chiron is simultaneously connecting with the Sun, will reveal key issues and patterns that can bridge your present circumstances with your vision for future developments. Although the accelerated pace of collective changes can create fear over the potential of what could happen, the amplified quality of chaotic flux also means there is increased potential for exciting new creative directions to emerge that were not previously available. Chiron's strange orbit extends beyond the orbit of Uranus when furthest away from Earth, while weaving within the orbit of Saturn when closest to Earth. Saturn spends the longest time in the sign of Aries due to traveling as far away from us as possible within his orbit, picking up emancipatory messages from Uranus to transmit. As a result, Chiron in Aries can be an important ally in discovering how to break free from old restraints into a more authentic path. Yet Chiron often does this through revealing the symptoms of our deeper wounds that need to be addressed so that we can reach our next stage of development. Many of the personal and collective wounds stirred by Chiron in Aries relate to the impact of past and present colonial empires. The work of Dr. Bayo Akomolofi is resonant with the guidance available through Chiron and Aries, as he has said that decolonial emancipation is not the work of struggling with what is, but a place of occupying what we are becoming. Further resonant with the full moon in Libra, Dr. Akomolofi has also taught the importance of contemplating our circumstances so we do not react in ways that reinforce the very systems of societal oppression we wish to change. Chiron in Aries can help foster increased agency and creative actualization. It also warns of becoming overly focused on one's own perspective and desires while neglecting the realities of others. The contact between Moon and Chiron can draw attention to the mystery of internal spaces that source our external expression. Rather than insisting we know best while obsessing over external achievement, the Libra Moon reflecting Chiron emphasizes the importance of listening and relating to the vibrant meaning found within the realms of visible and invisible nature surrounding us. The Libra Moon's opposition with Jupiter will also reflect a process of deep mystery and hidden meaning found within our own darkness. Jupiter is traversing its invisible phase under the beams of the sun, during which time it cannot be seen in the sky. Within the regenerative phase of Jupiter's solar cycle, we may likewise discover ways in which the sense of vision and purpose we have cultivated over the course of the past year during Jupiter's previous visible cycle is now undergoing a process of death and rebirth. Within a week of the Libra full moon, Jupiter will be reanimated by conjoining the sun in its exaltation of Aries on the 11th of April. As Jupiter ends one cycle while beginning another, we can likewise discover a renewed sense of our purpose and a regenerated vision for what we hope to create in the year ahead. The Libra full moon opposing Jupiter will increase awareness for aspects of our purpose that need to be shed or released to make space for the revitalized vision that is presently in process of taking shape. The full moon in Libra is ruled by Venus in Taurus. Venus can directly express her essential nature in her earthy home of Taurus and is applying toward a harmonious sextile with Neptune in Pisces that can facilitate experiences of pleasure, fantasy, and imagination as part of coping with present circumstances. Venus is not forming a major aspect with the Libra full moon, and so the otherworldly influence of Neptune may be more about finding sources of temporary respite to escape from stressful events stirred up by the opposition between Sun and Moon. While Venus remains in Taurus, we can look to her significations of pleasure, friendship, aesthetic enjoyment, and artistic creation as ways to gain relief from difficulties. Mercury recently entered Taurus on the 3rd of April, and will continue to benefit from Venus also occupying Taurus until Venus leaves her earthy home to enter Gemini on the 11th of April. Mercury in Taurus is in position to deeply attune with the changing reality of circumstances, as Mercury is separating from a tense square aspect with Pluto in Aquarius and a clarifying sextile aspect with Saturn in Pisces, while applying toward a conjunction with the north node of the moon in Taurus, as well as a creative sextile aspect with Mars in Cancer. The sextile between Mercury and Mars will become exact on the 7th of April and will be worth paying attention to associated events due to the fact that Mercury will station retrograde in Taurus on the 21st of April and form an additional sextile aspect with Mars in Cancer on the 23rd of April. Since Mercury will station retrograde a day after an intense solar eclipse, the time period around Mercury's stationing and second sextile aspect with Mars will be volatile. However, the sextile between Mercury and Mars that connects with both the Libra full moon as well as the Aries solar eclipse could also correlate with a dynamic project you persist in developing during a period of unsettling change. At the time of the Libra full moon, Mercury is moving direct and visible while approaching their maximum elongation as an evening star on the 11th of April. After the star of Hermes reaches maximum elongation, they will begin slowing down in anticipation of their retrograde stationing on the 21st of April, while also moving closer to Uranus and Taurus. As Mercury begins slowing down, pay attention to signs indicating areas of change and issues that will demand attention during the upcoming period of eclipses and Mercury retrograde that will take place at the end of April and first half of May. You may notice habits in need of changing, structures that need to be released or reformed, or issues that need increased focus. Venus will enter the mentally stimulating sign of Gemini on April 10th or 11th, depending upon your time zone. This date marks a pivotal point in the waning half of the lunar cycle, as Mercury will also reach maximum elongation, and Jupiter will also be reanimated by joining the Sun on the same day. Gemini is a fluid and adaptable atmosphere for Venus, and will be a transit that can prompt curiosity and diverse ideas and interests while developing skills in creative expression and communication. After Venus enters Gemini, she will immediately form a trine aspect with Pluto in Aquarius on the 11th of April, followed by a square aspect with Saturn in Pisces on the 14th of April. Venus in a flexible and intellectual sign of Gemini can help attune awareness to the ways in which we need to make adjustments in our relationships to accommodate the larger societal and personal shifts that have corresponded with the recent sign changes of Pluto and Saturn. The full moon in Libra will illuminate the second decan of Libra, associated with the Three of Swords Tarot Arcanum, illustrated above by Pamela Coleman Smith. An arcanum known as the Lord of Sorrow, the Three of Swords contained an image of piercing heartbreak, swords stabbing through a heart set against a stormy sky. Its gloomy, rainy, and cold atmosphere fits well with the fact that the second decan of Libra is the face of Saturn. The meaning of the Three of Swords can indeed relate to betrayal, abandonment, and loss. Yet its connection with Saturn also means we can link the transcendent fostering of strength and wisdom that can be gained through facing the inevitable and enduring painful experiences. Indeed, T. Susan Chang in 36 Secrets wrote that the rainy backdrop of the Three of Swords can also symbolize the very water of life for everything that sustains us. Chang linked the Three of Swords to Bina, the great mother, who serves as a third sphere on the tree of life and whose dark womb gives birth to the pillar of form. Chang wrote that Bina's sorrow is archetypal and saturnine in nature, shaped by the love of creation and the indelible knowledge that all things must end. Chang wrote that the Three of Swords can show up in readings as a signing and fulfillment of contracts, as well as a termination of relational bonds. In one way or another, quote, "There is something you have no choice but to face, hard-won knowledge, irreversible realizations, the thing you can't unknow," end quote. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, in the 3 books of occult philosophy, wrote that within the second face of Libra arise 2 men raging and angry, and a man ornately dressed sitting in a chair. These have the significations for anger against evil and a restful and secure life with an abundance of good. While one of Agrippa's significations and images involve rage against unjust behavior, the same face also involves the security of an abundantly good life. In comparison, the Picatrix pictured a man leading a wedding and described the second face of Libra as signifying relaxation, wealth, good living, security, peacefulness, and easy living. The association with marriage also appeared in the Yavana Hatkata, in which a woman who is clever in the office of an intermediary between lovers for the sake of a bridegroom resides. Austin Coppock in 36 Faces connected Saturn's exaltation in Libra to the binding of happy marriages and fruitful alliances found in the second decan of Libra, as well as the breaking apart of such agreements. Coppock described the image of being 2 links in a chain to the second decan of Libra. describing it as a face of lasting unions and blended karma, in which the power of obligation fixes volatile passions, creating a firm foundation for the good life. Oaths and binding contracts are central symbols of this face that hold one of its central lessons. With whom and for what should one pledge themselves in oath? The second decan of Libra promises a bounty of abundance for those who stay true to their commitments and contracts of mutual beneficence. Yet it also contains a heartbreak of betrayal and becoming abandoned by the other side, not holding up their end of the agreement. Kopic wrote that the power of this face is nearly ideal for the binding of two things together, whether they be people in marriage, business entities, or merely a promise to oneself. It contains a formulae not only for knitting together, but continuing in happy union, and is therefore an arcanum of wonderful power. The Hellenistic text 36 Airs ascribed Kairos to the second face of Libra. Kairos in Greek mythology is the youngest son of Zeus, as well as the lover of Fortuna, an embodiment of luck and favorable opportunities. Kairos was portrayed as moving with winged feet, carrying a razor or scales that represent the fleeting moment in which opportunity comes and goes, the moment we need to seize and not neglect. In modern culture, the term Kairos refers to the opportune moment for something to occur that is not confined to the demands of chronological time, but rather connects us with a soulful sense of destiny thrust into the moment. We generally know to commit to blessed opportunities brought by the goddess Fortuna when they align with our purpose. But other times we can feel stuck and unsure if the opportunities presenting themselves to us are truly worthy of our commitment. The connection of Kairos with the second decan of Libra and the Libra full moon stresses the importance of contemplating the commitments you are forming, so that you do not later face the torment of being bound to a contract you do not want to uphold. The sacred, solemn, and serious nature of oaths can be seen in the fact that even the gods and goddesses of Greek mythology were bound by them. The golden-winged messenger and intermediary Iris, goddess of the rainbow, had the role of collecting the water from the underworld river Styx, which was used by the gods to swear oaths by, and put to sleep the deities who broke them. Oaths like Saturn necessitate limits and restrictions, yet their establishment and adherence create the trust and faith required to build enduring works in collaboration with others. The second decan of Libra holds both the benefits and abundance gained by those who remain faithful to their oaths, as well as the discord that comes from unfaithfulness. In times of collective uncertainty, the oaths of intentions we make for ourselves, as well as to secure bonds of fellowship with others, are crucial for fostering greater stability and security. Let the light of the Libra full moon guide you in considering the goals, intentions, and relationships that deserve your full commitment due to aligning fully with your essential purpose. If you enjoy my writing, please consider supporting my work through a monthly subscription on my Patreon page. Take a look to see the benefits and learning opportunities you will receive as a patron. You can continue to find my work at graycrawford.net.